Hello, today I'll be interviewing Melissa Edgar and her experience in sales. Let's start with your education. What was your schooling and college like, and how was the experience?
Yeah, I feel like my first year of college, I really did not like it. I wanted to transfer out. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not where I want to be. But then as I got more involved in like school activities, I became president of Women in Business. I was part of Delta Sigma Pi, which is like the business fraternity. After I put myself out there, and I was a peer coach as well, which really helped and kind of made my friends and met people who were so like-minded like me with the same goals and same ambitions. That really helped elevate my college experience. So I am at the end. I am glad I stayed at UW Bothell.
Yeah. So, what would you say the difference was between your school and your college and your workforce?
Yeah. So school, like if we're talking about like high school, I obviously they want to get you prepared for a career in college and kind of see what you like. So I put myself in DECA when I was in high school, which was a really great experience. There's a lot of transferable skills I used in college, especially trying to be in women business and be part of the business school. So that was a really smooth transition for me. And then going from like school to work, I feel like it is pretty similar just because I've done like internships before and I did work throughout all of college. So to me, it was it's a pretty easy transition. And then my company makes it really great where they have like a lot of new hires and a lot of coaching and help and support.
hmm Yeah. So, you mentioned before the Women in Business group.
Yeah.
What is that group?
Yeah, so that is a club on campus. It's known nationally as Women in Business. So basically, I was on the officer board, and then we host events for other people to come and join. So we have speaker events and resume building events or like LinkedIn workshops. So kind of all of it. We have social and then also professional events that catered not only to women, but to anyone that really wanted to participate.
Yeah, that sounds nice. So, how did you find your career?
I kind of fell into it by accident. I started working at Club Pilates right out of high school, and then I worked there for 4 years. But a lot of those sales skills that I gained were really transferable into like my internship and my current job because I'm cold calling people, I'm customer facing every day. So that definitely gave me a leg up compared to everyone, but it definitely wasn't on purpose. It was like I applied and I thought it was going to be a front desk position, and they handed me a phone and said, "Go call someone." I was like, "Oh my gosh, what are you talking about?"
Yeah. So, speaking of your job, how did you find your job?
Yeah, I think I definitely applied a couple times, but just like timing didn't work out because graduation date was a little messed up. Wasn't super sure when I was going to graduate, but I'm pretty sure my brother had sent me that LinkedIn post, and he was like, "You should apply to this." So then I applied, and luckily it was in Chicago, which is I had always wanted to move to Chicago, so that was perfect. Everything just lined up how it should be. So I was like, "Oh, it's meant to be. I have to go." And obviously, I love working at my company. They've been super great, super supportive.
Yeah, so speaking of moving, what challenges did you face while you were settling down in this new area?
Honestly, I don't think I faced like the typical challenges just because when I got here, all of my roommates were really social and they had made friends, and then my friends are coming soon. So I feel like it was more just adjusting, being in a new environment, especially living in Seattle my entire life. But it was way easier than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be so easy, and I think I really lucked out with that.
Yeah, what advice would you give to someone who's in a similar position where they have to move?
I would say just do it. Like, I think a lot of people turn down job opportunities out of state because they don't want to leave what's familiar. But you grow so much more, and I think you always have to keep in the back of your head, like, you can go home. It's not end all be all. You can always move in a year, but go and try it when you're young, when you're in your 20s, because you're not going to do that when you're 30.
Yeah. So, moving back to your career, who would you go to for for career advice?
I always go to my brother because I feel like although we're twins, he's definitely like one step ahead of me. And so I kind of look at him, I'm like, "Oh, what should I do?" Or, "Oh, can you fix my resume for me?"
Yeah, and also, who is your professional role model?
I would say Phoebe Gates, just because I feel like also her being in Seattle and then like being the same age as me, she graduated college and then she is working on like her own business with her best friend and they're living in New York. I feel like that's everyone's ultimate goal is to be your own boss eventually.
Yeah, yeah. So, what advice would you give to people who want to be better leaders?
Ooh, I feel like I'm still working on this myself, but definitely put yourself out there and make sure people know that you want to lead. Because it's so easy to be like, oh, well, no one else is talking, so I'm not going to talk. But even if you just make small comments here and there and just raise your voice, say an opinion, people will notice and think, oh, like they want to be a part of this, they want to be here. And especially when new hires come in, I've noticed that a lot. Like you can tell who wants to help the new hires and who's going to be there to support them versus who's kind of there just like on their own.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So how do you stay motivated even when you don't seem to be getting results, like in any situation?
Honestly, I think being in sales, you have to be resilient, but you also just have to know, like, hey, it was one bad day or one bad call. Like, you move on, life happens. You have to remember not to take things personally. And I think that is the hardest challenge, but it's also like the best skill that you can learn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So in Salesforce, what are you working on?
I'm an SDR right now, so I handle a lot of inbound leads, a lot of warm leads, and then I have to move them on to an account specialist so that they get like the proper information on the product that they're looking at and such like that. So any specific questions?
I see what you mean. And how difficult do you think that is?
It's pretty, I think sales is overlooked sometimes. It's definitely harder than people make it out to be just because you are handling the phone a lot and you have to be the face of the company. You're handling customer calls, client interactions, and then you also have, expectations to meet and deliver on deliverables. So I think there is a lot more that goes into sales than people presume. And I learned that a lot during my time at UW Bothell as well, because I was part of the professional sales certificate program there. And then we had to take like specific sales classes. So during that class, you kind of learn like, oh, this is more technical, more customer facing, more people skills than you would think.
Yeah. So speaking of college, what was your favorite part of college?
Ooh, I would say just being part of Women in Business was such a huge impact on me because I came out with such like a good, strong network of people, and like my best friends came from there. And then they flew us out to Chicago one weekend too for a convention, which was super cool.
Yeah, yeah. And if there was something you could tell yourself, like tell a younger version of yourself, what do you think you would tell them?
Definitely to speak up more. I still kind of struggle with that where if we're in a group of people, I might shoot my hand up right away, but I would definitely tell myself, say yes to more things, stand up to more, like be more vocal, but then also try to take everything, like try and be friends with as many people as fast as possible. So like get to know them, ask them how their day was, get people to know who you are. And I think that really helps, especially when you're job hunting and just trying to find your circle.
So how did you make so many friends? How difficult was that?
I would say my school was pretty difficult just because we are a commuter school, so not everyone lived on campus, myself included. But getting into these like clubs and student body activities really helped because not only was I friends with people from my club, but then also other student leaders took notice and they're like, oh my gosh, you're president of this club, like let's talk about this, maybe we'll collab with the clubs. So eventually you kind of just have a little ecosystem of like student leaders that all know each other.
Yeah, yeah. So leading a club, what's that like?
It's a lot more work than you would think because you are, if one of your officers isn't doing something, you have to pick up that slack. So like marketing and outreach, you have to coordinate people's schedules and get them to come in, and then you have to pick the time that most students will come on campus. And then if the event doesn't turn out that great, then you're kind of like, oh shoot, only 5 students showed up, my speaker drove all this way for nothing, or like spent their time for nothing. So it's definitely a lot more pressure than you would think, because then there's also a lot of regulations that you have to remember with policies and laws and just regulations that you can't cross, especially when you're trying to get like food or budgets.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have any specific stories or examples where one of your events didn't go as planned?
Yeah, so we had an end of the year celebration for the just like the women in business group. So everyone was coming to like our event, and we had ordered a cake, but then no one told us if the cake was here or not. And that was like the main event. We were telling people like, "Oh, come, we're gonna like do a cake cutting. It's gonna be a big thing." So the cake wasn't there. It's like an hour before the event is starting. I was vice president at the time, so me and the president were like freaking out. We're running in circles. We're about to make a cake, and then they were like, "Oh, actually, we bought you one. We just had to like go a different way. It was nothing how we wanted. It was completely different. But you kind of have to go with it and say, we got something at least." And it's just like a lot of back and forth with budgeting and trying to get things approved because not everything can be approved, but then sometimes they're really picky on it.
I think if I was in that situation, I might panic a lot. How do you avoid panicking?
Yeah, you kind of just have to remember like it needs to get done one way or another. If you waste time panicking, it's not gonna happen. Like you just have to go. You just have to do it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So let's switch the topic a little. How do you manage disagreements with your family?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty calm. We definitely like talk it out. I would say there's not too much that we disagree on, but if there is like whoever has a different opinion will share why they think their opinion is correct, and then I'll share it or someone else will share it. So it's a lot of communication.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think there's been cases where disagreements with friends or family or anyone really has been you managed it poorly and you could have done better?
I mean, I'm sure there definitely has. I would say I'm overall a very like calm, steady person, so I definitely avoid conflict as much as possible. So I can't say I've been in too many, but whenever there has been a time, it's more like, oh, I should have asked them for their opinion more or like their side of the story.
Yeah. So you've been in Seattle and in Chicago. Do you think that do you think Seattle or the east or the west side has less opportunities than places like the East Coast?
I'm looking from a tech perspective. In that way, I would say the West Coast definitely has more opportunities. However, I know a lot of finance and consulting happens in the Midwest, East Coast. So I guess it kind of depends on what you're looking for sure. Like a lot of my friends here are finance majors or accountants. So Chicago is like perfect for them. But then, we go to Seattle and I majored in tech management. They've never heard of what that major is. Not that most people in Seattle have either, but the option was there, whereas it probably wouldn't have been here. So I guess if you want to do tech, West Coast is 100% better in my opinion, just because there's so many hubs there. But that's also not to say that you can't find a hub over in the Midwest, such as Salesforce.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm wondering, if you weren't able to join the career path you're in right now, what career would you join?
Ooh, if I couldn't join, so like if I had majored in something different or if I like just didn't get this job,
I think like a major in something different.
I think I would try and be a little bit more technical. Maybe we didn't have the option to major in data science when I was at UW Bothell, but it recently came about that you can major in data science. So I think if I were to redo it, I would at least try and push a minor into it just so I could be a little bit more technical. With all the AI craze that's happening, you want to stay on top of it. And I think it is really important to continuously educate yourself on AI and kind of what's happening. So I think data science would have given me that little leg up.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Speaking of AI, how do you think AI is affecting your job or the jobs of the people around you?
I think it's really helpful. I think sales is one of those things that you can't replace fully with AI. You need that human contact. You need someone to call the phone and speak human to human, or person to person, I should say. So in that sense, it's really helpful because if I have a question, and even if I'm on a phone call, I can type it in and my answer will shoot out, or it'll direct me in the right spot, or it'll summarize, kind of like Google Meets will probably summarize and give us a using AI.
Yeah, that's true. So do you think that AI has had a positive impact on the world?
I think so. I think there are ways to do it sustainably, such as some there are unsustainable ways and sustainable ways. I think as long as you're doing it sustainably for the environment, it's free for all. Go for it. Learn how to use it. And then, right now, some of it is unsustainable. So just kind of trying to work that out. I think that would help a lot.
Yeah, I think that could probably apply, like that idea could apply to like all the technologies we invent and discover.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah. So I was wondering, when you decided to leave Seattle and move to Chicago, how did your family react?
They were really excited because my brother had moved to Dallas, obviously, and then or is moving to Dallas. And so they were like, oh my gosh, both kids, like Chicago to them was, I think to everyone, it was kind of like, that's the perfect city for you to be in just because it's big enough, but I don't need a car and I can kind of walk everywhere. Everyone's my age. So many new grads move here and everyone's super social and friendly. So honestly, it was not like, obviously, part of you wants to be like, oh, I wish I stayed in Seattle just like, because that's what you know. But moving to Chicago is like the next step, I think was perfect.
Yeah, yeah. So how do you see yourself 5 years from now?
That's a good question. I think that's kind of the never-ending question too, because I feel like every day, week, month, I change my mind. One day I'm like, I want to be a manager in this department. I want to be a sales engineer. I want to be a solution consultant. But for me, I definitely have to remember, okay, you're in the present. Figure this out now. You don't have to look so far in the future. It's good to have goals for sure, just so you keep on track. But always remember to stay in the present. Be present in what you're doing.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So, what advice would you tell someone who wants to follow a career path that's similar to yours?
I would say, if they're trying to be an SDR, I would honestly say if they're in college, I would say go into Club Pilates, go into somewhere that you can get cold call experience. So a Pilates studio or Orange Theory, anything like that where they do a lot of cold calling. And then you'll get you'll get more comfortable on the phones faster because that's such a big hurdle to get over. I know when I first started, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not calling a stranger. What are you talking about? And then 4 years later, I will pick up the phone and talk to anyone. Because not only did it progress those skills of getting over the fear of picking up the phone, but I'm also way more I'm way more outgoing. I'm way more I can strike up a conversation with anyone anywhere now because of that role.
So I'm actually really curious. Do you think you're an introvert or an extrovert?
Honestly, I think in Chicago I'm an introvert, but I think in Seattle I'm an extrovert. So
yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
I think I'm definitely in the middle, but I also feel like everyone says that.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's everything I have to ask for you. Thank you for your time. Do you have anything you'd like to ask me?
Yeah, well, I'll spin the 5-year question on you. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, in 5 years, I'll be starting my college. It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, there's a lot to do for me because I'm just going to start high school soon.
Oh, you haven't started high school yet? I thought you were in high school.
Oh, yeah, I'm starting high school this year.
Oh my gosh, are you so excited?
It's a little scary, but
Yeah, what high school are you going to?
I'm going to Lakeside High School here in Seattle.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Downtownish?
I think so.
True Seattle? Yeah. No, that'll be so fun. I think high school is also really fun for me. I have a lot of good memories. My childhood best friends from high school I just saw this past weekend. And
Yeah. The transition is going to be much smoother because I went to the same middle school, so all my friends are still coming from the middle school to the high school. So.
Oh, that's so fun. Definitely get involved in school. Even if your friends don't do it, just do it on yourself, on your own.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, do you know what you want to study when you go to college? My dad really pressed this on me and my brother when we were in middle school. He's like, you have to have where you're going to college, what you're going to do.
Oh yeah, me too. But I think I pressure myself more because I really do want to know. It's pretty hard to try. I mean, I'm kind of pulled towards a couple of directions.
Yeah, definitely. I think high school is a good time to figure that out though. Going back, I think I wish I tried more clubs in high school.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching this episode of Narrative Tales. If you enjoyed, consider checking out some of my other episodes.